Hi everybody, it's your girl Marissa Farrow, and today we are going to be making sweet potato pies. For those of you who do not know how to make them, in this video you will not see my face at all because I am not feeling it. However, you will see how we go about making these delicious sweet potato pies right in time for Thanksgiving. So if you want to stay tuned, stay tuned. So the first step is to boil your potatoes, your sweet potatoes, which games this size can take about 2 hours to boil until the softness is achieved, which you can find and feel the specific portion in it. But yams hold a lot of heat, alright? So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you thoroughly rinse these off in cold water because you will burn yourself literally trying to peel them. After you do that, you're going to get a butter knife and you're just going to split them down the center and peel them like this. All you have to do is take your knife and just kind of pierce it, and the skin just kind of falls right off of it, just like this. And after you do that, you want to make sure you just slice off that top piece that has that little skin hanging there, and that's it. In the meantime, be sure to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And in the same regards, you need to take these out of the freezer, your pie crust, in time to allow them to soften up. In time to put them in the oven and deep fill them. I usually use the deep dish ones, but these are regular. That's all they get at the store. And the crazy thing is they're actually broken up, but I will show you in here how to fix broken pie crust. So here we are. We have our potatoes here. All right, and now it's time to mash them up and get them mixed. Here's what you'll need: butter, milk, evaporated milk, regular sugar, brown sugar, vanilla extract, lemon extract, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Booyah cow. I totally forgot. I cannot do this without eggs. So, first things first, let's crack up 2 eggs for about 3 potatoes. 2 eggs is perfect. 2 eggs is perfect for up to about 4. Anything after that, you want to use an extra egg. But I'm going to crack 2 eggs and put them right into the pan. One hand crack. Y'all, I'm ashy, but it's COVID and I keep washing my hands, so excuse me. All right, so we got our egg cracked in there, and the next thing I'm gonna do is add milk. So for the milk part, I have 2 different types of milk. I have whole milk and then I have evaporated milk. I like the whole milk as it's a traditional ingredient, but then I love the evaporated milk because it adds a little more of a fluffier taste to my sweet potato pies. I actually learned this recipe from my mom, of course. Shout out to my mom, Jacqueline Farrow. Hey. And my dad, when we both make sweet potato pie for Christmas, he always tells me that mine's a little creamier, and that's because my mom does not use the evaporated milk, but I like to. So anyway, I'm gonna pour. Let me get my measuring cup so y'all had this right. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put about a cup in here and see if that is how much I need. But it's literally like just in my bones. I don't know. I just kind of know. All right, hold on. All right, guys. So I got my measuring cup. This is about a cup of milk. 1 cup. Let's pour it and see if that looks about right. Yeah. 1 cup should do just fine. Then I'm going to take my evaporated milk, and I'm going to only do about 1/2 cup because I don't want to make it loose. I just wanted it a little for flavor. I'm not even going to do 1/2 cup. It's like 1/4, actually. So if you guys can see, it's about 1/4. I'm just going to add that into the mix because I like my pies a little creamy. So as I add that, you're going to see me start to mix this up to get the thickening kind of properties. And it's looking a little loose now, but once I get that wisp up in there, it's gonna be bomb.com. See, you can already tell mine are a little less orange than my mom's because she only uses one type of milk. And for me, I like a creamier taste in sweet potato pie. And everyone tells me that I make sweet potato pies like somebody's grandmother, so clearly I obviously know what I'm doing. All right, so got my milk going. Now I'm gonna add my sugars, okay? Okay, for all intents and purposes, I'm being very clear. I do not know about how much this is gonna end up being, but so far this is a half a cup of sugar with a quarter cup of the brown sugar. And yes, you want to use both sugars. You do not want to just use one. Make sure you use brown and white. I don't know that there's a preference between dark and light, but I'm using light today. So I'm gonna mix this up, and really the desired sweetness is really up to you. So once you're finished with your mix, you can easily just put it in a little test and taste and see if you like the level of sweetness. If not, you can always add more. So that's with our sugars. Next, I'm going to add the cinnamon and nutmeg, and then I'm going to do butter. All right, now here's where people mess up. They either use too much cinnamon or too much nutmeg. I'm just going to do a few dashes. You're not supposed to like fill it up. You just want to kind of put a little sprinkle up in there. And do not forget the nutmeg. Now that I'm doing a little less of because nutmeg is a very strong flavored. So that's that. And I'm gonna mix. You don't have to keep mixing in between. I just do because I like to see my consistency of my filling. Make sure it's not too loose or too thick. You know, you gotta make sure the consistency is right. And I still haven't necessarily used the whisk or beater, but some people do like to. Now, the next two ingredients are family secret, apparently, because everyone doesn't use these, but these are what makes the sweet potato pie amazing. Let's go. Now, let's be very clear, guys. Vanilla extract is, number one, expensive. This one bottle cost me $13.29. I need my nails done and I'm ashy. This is bad. Anyway, this cost 13 bucks. Hide my bad nails. And the lemon extract is here. Now, these are very strong because they're pure. So you don't want to use a lot of this at all, literally. And I'm going to just put this in and hopefully you can get some type of measurement out of it. Because, again, I don't know. Maybe I can use a tablespoon as the measuring system. I don't know. All right, so I'm just gonna dab some. You get that? It's not a whole lot. Just maybe a smidge more, like a drop. All right, boom. That's a smidge. Then I'm gonna do the same with the lemon. Now, the lemon I'm going to use even less of, especially because it's clear, so you got to watch that thing. Just pour a little for flavor. Y'all see that? That's the indentation right there. It's like just a little smidge, okay? All right, take that, mix it on up. All right, it's probably about time I get my whisk here, so hold the line, people. All right, whisk is there. This is what I decided. I'm going to just make this YouTube channel called Ghetto Cooking with Marissa, because honestly I don't really be knowing. It's from the soul, guys. So this wisp thing here is supposed to really blend the ingredients. It's supposed to kind of, you know, make it all come together. The last thing I need to do is add the butter. I'm gonna melt my butter because I prefer melted. And while I grew up on Land O'Lakes, I have found here recently that this the best butter in the world. Kerrygold pure Irish butter. It is amazing. Literally. It's just good butter. I cook everything in this and butter makes everything better. I'm kidding. Do not eat like a, this is a lot of butter. Seriously, just be careful. I'm going to show you guys how much I cut. Probably about a quarter of this. I'm going to cut about a quarter of this. So when I say a quarter, Like that's probably 1/4. And this is the halfway mark here. So I'm saying like this much, 1/4, okay? I'm gonna cut it, and I'm gonna melt it, pour it in. All right, guys, while we're doing that, I'm actually getting ready for my dinner tonight. I'm making steak and lobster. Okay, so seriously, if you guys are interested in me showing you my steak recipe, as unsure as I am of all my portions and measurements, let me know. Drop a comment down below. So here's a secret about meat that I found out from one of my cooking people, Buttercup. Olive oil. This is olive oil here, like pure virgin, extra virgin olive oil. Tenderizes meat naturally. So all that stuff y'all use, accent and all that stuff with the MSG and cancer cause and stuff, cut that out. Put some olive oil on your stuff. Go. If y'all want to see my steak recipe, just drop a comment below. All right, butter is back and voila. Oh, Kerrygold. That's gonna be delicious. Okay, now that my last ingredient is there, all I'm gonna do is continue to mix and shake and mix and shake and shake and mix. I'm gonna get all that essence from around the sides there because it's gonna make for a great pie. All right, so as I mix, you can see that it's showing a little thicker mix here. That's because it's pulling all of that mashed up sweet potato yams from the bottom. So here we are with our mix. Now, the key to this is, again, that this is all preferential, meaning whatever your taste is, you're gonna like it. So, you know, I know my taste because it is not too sweet, not too overpowering, not too full of vanilla extract and all that stuff. But you can always add a little more or try to cut it if you have too much of something. That's something my mom used to do when I was younger, getting ready for Thanksgiving. She would always let me taste the mix and ask, hey, Marissa, is it a little too sweet? You need that? So anyway, I'm going to get my spoon here that I had and just give this a little taste. Oh my God. How did I get this right on the first try? Jeez, that's so good. Ah. Mix is done. All right, let's figure out what we're going to do with these pie crusts because they're probably not thawed out yet. So I'm going to give you guys a SpongeBob 5 hours later. I'm kidding. I'll be back. So broken crayon still color, right? Here's my pie crusts that were kind of crushed on the commute home, which is no problem. You just have to give them time to thaw out enough where you can kind of reconstruct them. So as you can see, the cracks that are here, I'm just kind of restructuring it with my fingers here. Clean fingers. Hello, COVID-19. Gotta make sure y'all clean these hands. So this one is pretty, you know, usable. This one is a struggle, which is not a problem. I'm just gonna wait for it to thaw a little longer. Well, actually, it's pretty thawed now. And I'm gonna just knead it kind of back together. You know, like literally just pressing it at the places where it's torn or broken. But there's no need to throw them away just because they're torn and broken. My mom used to hate when this happened to her pie crust. And so we used to always be really careful. We would handle pie crust like bread because our goal was to not have to deal with this. The other thing you can do is if your pie crust had some type of decor around the sides, you can always use a life hack. Take a regular handy dandy fork and just impress into the sides, and that creates and recreates rather the lines in the pie crust. All right, so now this is probably the best I'm gonna get once I take this whole thing out. And that's another thing that you can do. I'm just not gonna do it because I don't have energy. And the way my family and friends eat these, we don't necessarily care that the pie crust is broken. But anyway, if you are the person who's a stickler for that, what you can do is take the whole thing out. Take your handy dandy rolling pin and flatten it back out and just redistribute the crust over the aluminum pan. So this is the best that I'm gonna get because I'm not sitting here dealing with this, but it's really just not that hard. All you gotta do is just knead it all back together. All right. See, my hands are ashy again because I'm always washing them. Now that our mix is done and it's really nice and pretty, you can't really see it because this light in my house is kind of crazy, but it's a nice orange. I'm just trying to give you a better view. Anyway, I'm gonna take a ladle and I'm gonna begin to fill my crust. So my ladle's here. I gotta wash it over to the sink. It has my mixing stuff in it. Excuse that. And I'm just gonna ladle it here, from here, into the bottom. Crust. This is one of the cleaner ways to do this, so you won't get stuff everywhere. All right. Now I'm gonna fill this one up. This is my last one, probably. All right. Once you do that, you don't want it overflowing, so you're gonna just kind of fill it up and stop there. This is why I usually use the deep dish ones. Swap that out. Boom. Put this one in with our little broken crust here. This has to go. Sorry. I'm gonna stop there because I don't want this to overflow anymore, or overflow specifically in my oven. So here we are with our 2 pies ready to go in the oven. Now, with this the rest of this filling, because Thanksgiving is just next week, and I'm so certain I'm gonna make at least 4 pies before the holiday's over. I'm gonna take this mix and I'm gonna tell you what you can do with it so you don't have to throw it away. We're going to put it in a Ziploc bag and we're gonna put it in the freezer until next Thursday. In the meantime, here's an economic way to prevent spillage in your oven and, you know, keep everything together in case you don't have cookie sheets. Pull your oven rack out and you want to take aluminum foil and just cover your rack. All right, so I've covered my rack, and if you notice, I actually moved it up to the second tier. Reason being because I like my crust a little softer, and so I try to cook it more from the top than the bottom. So the goal is to put your rack up high enough where your crust is not baking so fast, because you can still get a relatively good, you know, formation to your crust if you bring your rack up. So because the pie crust fell apart a little bit, I'm gonna have to be very, very cautious while I'm putting this in, so I cannot film. I will show you all once they're in the oven. Okay guys, bottom line is I had to use 2 hands to get these pies in here because I didn't want to spill them. And into the oven they go. And I will close these in here. I'm gonna set my timer for 1 hour, 30 minutes to begin with. And I will come back if I have to change the time, but you'll know that based on the consistency. And once again, that's all based on how thick or how loose your mix is. It can take longer to bake. So I'm gonna put in for 1 hour and 30 minutes at minimum for all sweet potato pies. But once I check it in 1 hour and 30, I'll know whether I need to leave it in a little longer or if I can take it out. Hey guys, me again, back, and my pies are done. So after about 1 hour and 40 minutes in, they are complete. And you can tell, you know, along the lines, you'll see that kind of separation, and you're able to see from the firmness. So if it looks like it's still a little loose, a little runny, not as firm, you want to kind of put it back in there for a little bit. But mine was browning very nicely, and voila.